So here is one of the great and really beautiful paradoxes that we find in the gospel. When we no longer live for the approval of other people, we are finally able and set at liberty to really love them as we should. When we stop seeking their approval, then we really can love them as we ought to. But when we are sort of chained to their opinion of us, then we're not going to really be honest with them. We're not going to love them as we should because we're too concerned with what they think. So we're not going to say anything that they might need to hear. We're not going to do anything they may not want us to do. And that's not really loving somebody. That's really being held captive by a desire for their good opinion because he lived for the Father's approval and not the opinion or the approval of others. Jesus asked this question. He says, how can you believe when you receive glory from one another and do not seek the glory that comes from the only God? How can you believe when you receive glory from one another and do not seek the glory that comes from the only God? Now, that's not a really smooth translation, but he's basically saying, how can you really be faithful to God? How can you believe? How can you live faithfully and obediently when you're trying to live to be glorified by other people instead of being, seeking the glory of God? So whose glory are we seeking is always a good question to ask.